Hi my friends, I welcome you for this next episode on this amazing area called time. I mentioned to you last time that there is no such thing as time management because management presupposes control. What you cannot control, don't try to manage. So, the myth number one I exploded last time, which will continue to explode over the period of couple of episodes, there is no such thing as time management. But then what is that we are trying to manage? We are trying to manage the productivity of time. The productivity of time. In factories, they talk about two terms, production and productivity. Production means the number. If I am producing this piece, how much I am producing per hour? In a shift, how much am I producing? That is a number, it does not say anything more than a head count, more than the number of pieces that are produced. Productivity means your efficiency. Like for example, in one shift, I produce, let us say 1000 pieces of this. In the next shift, I am producing 1200 pieces with the same infrastructure, with the same mission. The productivity of 1200 pieces is more than 1000 pieces. So, we talk about the productivity of time. I mentioned to you last time that all of us, regardless of our status, social status, economic status, whatever status you talk about, we have the same unit of time. Whether you are a president of a country or an ordinary citizen, whether you are a newborn child or a senior executive of a huge organization, all of us have only 24 hours. You take for example your own friends, your college mates, your school mates, and you meet them after let us say 40 years and ask, what are you doing? These days you have the alumni meet, schools organize it, colleges organize alumni meet, organizations organize the ex-employees association, we exchange, what are you doing now? What have you done the last couple of years? That is a measure of how you have, I am going to use a very important word and then make a correction, spent time. S-P-E-N-T, spent. Instead of spent time, use the word invest. For example, there are two words I am now talking about. One is spending. The other one is investing. Time is the same resource. You take for example money. Let us say I have 1000 rupees. Let us say I have 10,000 rupees. I can spend 1000 rupees, I can spend 10,000 rupees. But change the word time spending to time investment. Rupee spent to rupee invested. The moment you say I am investing, immediately you will have what is called ROI. What is that ROI? Return on investment. Your wealth is not determined by your income. Your wealth is not determined by your spending. Your wealth is determined by Investment. So, the concept of a resource has to change. We are all used to using the word investment with reference to money. How many of us think time as a resource, and such people will talk about investment, return on investment. You go and ask a successful person, he will give you anything, but not his time. The more a busier person is, the more relaxed he will be, many of us think the higher up you go, the people will be tensed more. No, they are very relaxed. Once I met the trade union leader of a huge union, INTUC, the president of INTUC, All India president, a very busy person. I was with him for nearly an hour and a half. He was so relaxed because he gave me that an hour and a half and not a phone call. Nobody disturbed him. I asked him, how is that you are so relaxed? He said, I am not tense first of all. He said, of course I am relaxed because I am organized. And such people know the return on investment. He would have prepared for my meeting. And supposing the meeting I asked him is nothing to do with his goals, with his aspirations in life, I am sure he wouldn't have given me the time. So, it is not spending, it is investment. The moment you talk about investment, then you talk about productivity of time. Let us say that, I will give another example. Let us say that I have 10 computers in my office. Then I ask how much the computers are being used. I have spent money on 10 computers. But if I calculate the utilization of each computer, then I talk about the productivity of each computer. Instead of investing my money on 10 computers, could I have invested only on 2 computers and saved the money? Similarly, instead of spending 10 hours on a unit of work, we call it as a task or activity, instead of 10 units of time, can you invest 2 units of time and produce the same result? And that is the productivity I am talking about. So, we are going to talk about managing the productivity of time and not managing time. I am going to write 2 words. One is called nothing. The other one is called something. Interesting, no? Supposing I get nothing out of my time, even though I spent half an hour. Is that work? Or I get something out of my time, is it not work? Let us say that I am a salesman. I go to 10 sales calls. And how do I choose? Just like that, you go to cold knock door knocks, and I don't get any sales. I don't close any orders. I spent my time, I got nothing. But before going to the sales calls, I sit somewhere, understand the customer, understand his requirement. Instead of doing 10 knocks, I do only 2 knocks, door knocks, and I get my order. Is that not better than 10 door knocks? Supposing I come to know that all the 10 customers are not going to buy my product, it is better I do nothing. I don't go anywhere. I sit in my office and do it. And all these things is because my understanding of the word productivity of time. In fact, you heard this proverb, something is better than nothing. And what is the balance? Nothing is better than nonsense. That awareness, that awakening comes once you understand the value of your time. And that leader whom I met was such an expert in managing his time. From an ordinary operator, he became the national president of a huge union, and he became the governor of a state subsequently. If you go and meet any successful people, they will be talking about productivity of time and not time. As I said, you ask them anything, they will give, but not that time. The moment you ask for an appointment, first of all, it is very difficult to get to such people. And the secretary will screen many calls. And the secretary will ask, what's your name, what is that regarding which you want to meet him, and she will say or he will say, I'll call you back, and then only you will get your appointment. They are so very clever, so very intelligent, wise in making use of their time, because they want to invest their time and not spend their time. Okay, that's about the investment, and that's about the productivity. Last time I stopped with this, so what do I do? Alright sir, I understand the concept of productivity, concept of time, concept of output, concept of investment versus spending. What do I do? So, I am coming to you with a very interesting question, confusing maybe. I want you to write down this question somewhere. Why do we do what we do, and why do we do it the way we do it? As I said, it might be a little confusing, but the more you think about this, the more clearer you will become where to invest your time. Why do we do what we do? And why do we do it the way we do it? Now what's happening now? I am talking to you on investment of time. What are you doing? You have other priorities. You are listening to this. This is an activity. This is an activity. Let's say that there is a space, this is a pocket, and there is a thing. I put it in my pocket. There is a space and there is a thing. You open a computer, there is space, memory space available. What do you fill it up with? That's very, very important. Similarly, I have a unit of time, let's say half an hour for this episode or 20 minutes for this episode. What am I doing? So, why do we do what we do? The question is why. Why is very, very, very important. There is a consultant in US. I attended his seminar. He says, the moment you answer the question why, then what will be answered, how will be answered. Let's say that I am walking on the road. Somebody asks me, why are you walking? If I say, I am going on a morning walk, then he will ask you, why are you going on morning walk? I say, I am going for a shopping. Okay? Now supposing I say, I am walking because I want to reduce my weight. Then he will stop you and say, this type of walking is not going to meet your expectation of weight reduction. There is a way, go and consult a physical fitness expert. He will tell you your rhythm of walking. He will tell you should check your pulse before you start, and how much you should walk, how you should walk, what time you should take, what distance. So what am I doing? Walking. Why am I walking? I want to reduce weight. Once the why is answered, how you should walk and what distance you should cover, what time you should invest will be answered. So, why do we do, what do we do, and why do we do the way we do it? At any point of time, whatever you are doing, stop and ask yourself, hey, what am I doing now? Supposing I do this, what will be the result? Supposing I don't do this, what will I lose? In fact, in corporate training, I used to talk about conducting effective meetings. Next time when you attend a meeting, check how productive is the time. What are the topics discussed? Is there an agenda? At the end of it, what happened? Somebody said, meetings are an event where hours are spent and minutes are maintained. Hours are spent and minutes are maintained. So this question, I in fact, the most critical question, in fact I call it as a golden question. Whatever you are doing, stop for a while and say, why do I do this and how am I doing it? Is there something else I can do it? That will give you a lot of clarity, right? So that said, I am going to take you through a very short presentation, about 3 to 4 minutes I will take. See, get ready for what? Challenges of change. Get ready for an exciting career opportunity. Get ready for meeting your ambitions in life. That is what getting ready. First of all, what have we got to offer? So, I am talking about a word called outcome. Write down this word, outcome. Outcome is the result you want to achieve. Now, at the end of this episode, what is the outcome? I want to convey to you the concept of time investment. Outcome. Why are you walking? I want to reduce my weight. Outcome. Why are you doing the door knock? I want to get the sales order. Why are you running? I want to catch that bus. Outcome. And write down this word also called process. For an outcome, there has to be a process. If I want to make a sound, clap, clap. If I don't know how to clap, if I do this, I am not going to get the outcome. So, the link between the process and the outcome you have to understand. Then how do I use this pen on this board? There is a way. And the way is taught to me by somebody, and that is called knowledge. And the knowledge tells me that this is how you should do this. The knowledge is a set of theory, guidelines, procedure, and the person leaves. After that, I practice it several times and then I apply that skill to my process and I go and check whether my outcome is reached. If my outcome is not reached, I go check my knowledge, I go check my skill, I go check my process. If it is not there, go on changing the knowledge, go on changing my skill, go on changing my process unless I get my outcome, and which means this is a cycle, and this is a cycle. Now, so this is the basic concept I will be touching in all these seminars, online seminars. So time management, quote unquote, Time productivity is focusing on the outcome. Once the outcome is frozen, then you check whether you know the process. If you don't know the process, go get the knowledge, go and get the skill, cycle it and cycle it and cycle it. Today morning, I met a young engineer from US, an SAP consultant. He said, don't work hard. And he said, don't think just because you are working long number of hours you are going to be successful. He said, work smart. And he said, know what you want, know why do you want that, know how you should get there, and know what you should do to get there. That in brief is the productivity of time that I am talking about. In the next episode, I am going to discuss with you an amazing connection between the brain, the mind and the intellect. Amazing concept I am going to discuss. Wait for a week.